Hey y'all, I am D-Bubba1. If you're new here, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. But today we're going to deep dive into Lake Lanier survival stories. These are some stories I collected here on TikTok. And we're just going to go real deep diving into it. And then I collected the comments as well. So the comments are interesting. The comments have their own stories. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And let's jump right into it.
Video, but TikTok didn't let me, but I'm gonna still tell my story, okay? This is about Lake Lanier, 6 to 7 years ago. I went, my friend invited me. I didn't know these people, but I went anyway. It was good vibes, right? It was like one of those days where it's like too perfect, like scary perfect. Like everything was just flowing. We on yachts, we drinking Hennessy, like we cheersing. It gets so good, people start jumping in the water, y'all. This when things go for a turn. So it's like 4 people in there. Everybody gets out except for this one girl. She's swimming or whatever. And she starts to struggle and look at us. And we're like, oh, my God, she's drowning. Like, somebody help her. So this one guy, he's pretty lit. But he's like, nah, I know how to swim real good, blah, 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 blah. All right. So he jumps in. So we thinking, okay, he going to save her. And he does, okay? He does save her. She gets back on the boat. But he didn't get back on the boat. And I'm like, what's going on? I kid you not. There's a button down there at Lake Lanier. Like a little button that they push. It must be cameras. Because, baby, when I say people drown at a certain time, and that water was just swirling so hard, more than ever. And it was that one little area. Something's going on down there. So he's swimming. We throw him a donut. We like, come on, get back, get back. He's missing the donut because the water's so hard. It's swirling, literally like a tornado. Do you know this man did not come back up from the water? We call the police immediately. They come an hour and a half later. Are you crazy? That boy is way gone under the water. I don't know where that water took him, but he never came back up. His baby moms was there. His sister was there. That man was loved, and I never told that story because I always felt like it felt like a dream, and it felt like unreal. And I couldn't believe that I was there to see a man to watch someone go underwater and not come up. It's life-changing. I'm sorry, but I always felt differently about water ever since then. And I never told that story. I don't even know if I told my family that story because I think I did, but I didn't go into depth of how it made me feel. That shit right there, you gotta stay away from Lake Lanier. Like, for real. It's not for us.
Wow, breathtaking. Let's get into some of these comments. That's terrifying. The fact that he jumped in to save someone else. It says people underestimate these lakes. They appear so calm, still at the surface, but the currents ain't no joke. It says comment in so I can stay on the algorithm to show me the girl's story. It said, yo, the lady he saved did a story time on here last year and breaks my heart. He's just trying to help. That's crazy that the lady did a story time. Y'all comment down y'all thoughts on Lake Lanier so far.
If you're Bengali and you live in Atlanta, I need to know, are we still having dawats at Lake Lanier? Because, like, you should know by now that we should not be going into the water at Lake Lanier because it's fucking haunted. But I actually have a story, okay? I'm gonna have to go bust it. So this was a long time ago. I had to have been like 6, 7, 8 years old. And there was a dawat at Lake Lanier. And, you know, some people, like, get into the water during the dawats. So my mom let me get in as long as I stayed with this one random girl who was, like, responsible for me. So me and this girl get in the water. I can't swim, so she lets me, like, piggyback her while we're just swimming around. And we didn't even get, like, that deep into the water. I want to say, like, maybe 30 feet. We were good for a while until suddenly her head just starts plunging underwater, and I'm on her back at the same time, so I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was as if, like, something was trying to pull her down, and she was, like, obviously fighting for her life, trying to get back up, but her head was just going underwater the entire time, and I'm, like, holding on to her at the same time. We somehow make it out of the water, and she goes off on me about how, like, I made her drown or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I'm, like, 6, and now that I'm older, I definitely think it was the spirit of the lake. So yeah, I'm begging someone to translate what happened at Lake Lanier in Bangla so that that video could be circulated in the Bengali WhatsApp, because we should not be having dawats there.
Y'all comment down y'all thoughts below on what y'all think was trying to pull the girl down. Somebody said water gym. Said why do people still go to that damn lake? Hey, I don't know either. They trying to make a water slide up in there. I just think y'all should stay away from it. Just history behind it, and I got a video at the end to show y'all the history behind it.
Part 21. So like I said, me and my brother was swimming wildly to the shore. My cousin was behind me going under. So I tell my brother, swim as fast as you can to mama. Don't stop for shit. You swim. Just swim like your fucking life depends on it, because it probably does at this point. Get to mama. So while he's swimming towards the shore, I look at the shore. The pastor, the parents, people we didn't even fucking know were going bananas on this shore. They are screaming. They are jumping. Get out. Come back. Come back. Come back. So I turn around to swim to help my cousin, because I have 3 cousins in this water, 2 girls, 1 boy. The oldest is 16. She's the one that's being pulled under and jumping back up. So I swim to go help her, and when I look back to see if my brother made it to the shore, y'all, my brother was gone again. He was gone again. And when I really took notice of the situation, that really freaked me the fuck out is when I looked around, all the kids that was in the water with us was doing the exact same thing. Kids were being snatched down and fighting to come back up. I didn't know what the Part 22. So at this point, my brother and my cousin are both being snatched down and swimming back to the top. So I'm screaming, I'm crying, I'm screaming for my mom, I'm screaming for my other boy and girl cousin. They finally look back and see that their sister is being snatched under. So both of them turn around and swim back to help her. I go over to where I last seen my brother go down at. He ain't came back up, y'all. I'm like freaking the fuck out. Like, Lord, please don't let this shit be done. Drug my brother to the bottom, because I can't have this, man. I'm the oldest. So he comes up. When he comes up, I lunge for him. I lock my arms around his neck as tight as I could. I locked my legs around his waist as tight as I could. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, y'all. Maybe I was thinking I could keep us afloat or whatever the fuck had him gonna let go. But that was not in the motherfucking cards. I looked at my brother. I was like, hold your breath. That shit snatched. We go under again. Back to the same old bullshit. Water cold as shit. You can't see light through your eyelids no more. And I'm just freaking the fuck out. I was so scared. I was like, fuck this. I unwrapped my legs from around my brother and just started stomping around his ankle. So
Now, before y'all get up in here and try to get on me and say what are the other parts, it basically ended at that part. Basically, they did get saved. Everybody got saved. It was just super traumatized. Her cousin didn't talk after that. Like, she was silent for like 6 days, so they don't even talk about it. But let's get into these comments. It says, you are visiting my aunt on the 4th, and she was taken from us from Lake Lanier. Guess I'm not going. Please tag me in the next one. I scroll on the way. It said, is Lake Lanier haunted because of what happened? Say I lost a brother due to the river. He was 19. That's just crazy. You know, some of the people in the comments even lost people to this lake. I just think nobody should go. Comment down below y'all thoughts so far. And here go the story of Lake Lanier, aka Osterville.
I thought I would do a quick summary of the timeline as I've researched it. Let's start with way before the lake existed, with the Chattahoochee River in the 1800s. This map from 1823 shows where different Native American tribes lived. The Cherokee people lived west of the Chattahoochee mainly. The Indian Removal Act was passed in 1830, forcing the Cherokee and the Creek tribes from Georgia to Oklahoma via the Trail of Tears. Thousands of natives died due to this inhumane event. Then came the Civil War in the 1860s. Georgia was left devastated after the war and was slow to reconstruct, but one community began to thrive. That was the city of Oscarville. Oscarville was comprised of mostly black residents who were successful landowners, farmers, and tradesmen. In 1912, a young white resident of Oscarville, May Crow, was found murdered. 3 black residents were unjustly accused of the crime. Their names were Ernest Knox, Robert Edwards, and Oscar Daniel. They were ultimately murdered by a mob of angry white residents. The white residents drove the black residents out of Oscarville, threatening them with violence and burning their property. After 1912, Forsyth County famously did not have a single black resident live there for over 70 years. Oprah Winfrey even came to discuss this tense topic on her show in the 1980s. Fast forward to the 1950s, several decades after the racial events in 1912, the U.S. federal government decided they needed to build a dam and create a lake, primarily to prevent detrimental flooding of the Chattahoochee that happened every year. The Atlanta metro area was growing and needed power production and a water source, which were the other reasons for the lake's creation. The government used the power of eminent domain, which allowed them to seize private property for public use. 56,000 acres of land had to be acquired by the government. These records are examples of projects that needed to be relocated in order to create the lake. Some cemeteries are included, but there was certainly no way all the cemeteries could have been moved. Many freestanding structures, bridges, and even forests remain in place as the flooding inched higher and higher. Around this time, in 1958, 2 women were killed in a car accident, Susie Roberts and Delia Mae Parker Young. Many witnesses say they've seen Delia Mae's spirit haunting the area in her blue dress, and she's been dubbed the Lady of the Lake. Over 700 lives have been claimed at Lake Lanier since its creation in the 50s. Today, there are an average of 12 souls lost every year. Some reasons for this are the structures that were left underneath create obstacles for swimmers and boaters. Many speculate that the lake is cursed or haunted, though, due to the many unjust events on which the lake was created. There's just so much to learn and uncover about the history of this lake. I feel it's important to talk about the history, the controversy, the mystery, and the natural beauty of this area.